Ah, hello? Can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, you can type something and say hello. Jordan, can you hear me? Hello, I see lots of yeses. Hello to everyone out there. I am Daryl. I am a tutor here on Cambly. It's nice to see so many hellos. Thank you for joining us on our first live streaming lesson. I see lots of hellos. It's great. It means so much for us, for you to be here, and for us to be able to bring it to you. So today, we're going to be doing some kitchen and cooking vocabulary and lessons, words, grammar, conversation topics, fun ways to describe food, common mispronunciations. So we're going to do quite a lot today. And you may wonder, why did we pick cooking? I think cooking is something that everyone does. It brings people together, brings families together. We either love eating or we love cooking. So I think it's something that everyone can connect with. So that's why we're going to do it today. And for non-natives, there are a lot of mispronounced words and a lot of essential words and a lot of fun words that you guys should know. So I think we're ready to get started. So also at the end of today's lesson, I'm going to be giving a promo code. So you guys can stay tuned for that. That'll be right at the end. So I'm going to start. The first set of words we're going to do are essential kitchen words. These are words that have some common mispronunciations, but are very important for native English cookery. The first one is the word recipe. And commonly this is mispronounced as recipe or recipe. To make things easy for you, I have spelt it out phonetically here, recipe. And obviously, what is a recipe? It is the steps to make food. So it could be step 1, warm up the oven. Step 2, mix everything together. Step 3, put it into the oven. And step 4, to eat it. That would be the recipe. I will tell all of you that in my family, the recipe I am famous for is my cheesecake. I can make a really good cheesecake. I'm not going to tell you how to make a cheesecake today, but just know your teacher can make a good cheesecake. Also, as we go, I'm also going to be checking our chat and answering any questions that you guys might have, words that give you problems with pronunciation. So feel free to send something, and I will take a look. Let me look at the next word we have, which is a big one, also a commonly mispronounced word, ingredients. To make it easy again, I have spelt it out as ingredients. Ingredients. Now, I have used the plural here with the S, but ingredients can also be a singular. It is a noun. It is a thing. So we can say ingredient or ingredients. What are ingredients? It is all the stuff that goes into food. So if we're making soup, the ingredients would be carrots, vegetables, potatoes, meat, onions. Those are the ingredients. Common way to use it is to say, well, what do the ingredients say in the recipe? What ingredients do I need? It's a very important word in cooking, ingredients. Let me move on to another one. Again, a commonly mispronounced word, taste. Often this is pronounced as tasty, but this is how we say it. Taste, taste. And what is taste? Taste is how the food feels in our mouths, on our tongue. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Do we like it? Is it good? Is it bad? And later on today, I will actually be going through different types of tastes. Very important ways to describe how food tastes that you may not be aware of. For now, let's just know the word taste. And our final essential word, chef. And again, I have written it out phonetically for you. Chef. What is the chef? It's another word for cook, for the person that makes the food. When I make my cheesecake, I am the chef. I can tell everybody what to do. The chef is a noun, but it is a proper noun. So it's a thing you can call people. A common way to use it is to say, chef, what do I do? You're the chef. Tell us what to do. What is the recipe? What are the ingredients we need? Chef. And those are our first essential words. I'm going to take a quick look at our chat, see if there's any questions that people are having. I see people are talking, which is great. If you have any questions, if you want to know anything about other pronunciations, send it through. We're going to move on to fun words to describe food. Fun words to describe food. Now, we can always say food is good, or food is great, or food is bad, but that gets a little boring. So I want you to have other ways to describe food. Now, these are adjectives. As adjectives, they're going to go in the same place that adjectives go in a sentence. Before the noun or after the noun to describe the noun. And what we're going to do is we're going to climb up from a basic description of how the food tastes, up and up and up, to describe food that is really, really amazing. And again, the first one we're going to do is a common mispronounced word, delicious. Now, I know this one looks confusing as a word, and we can say it is delicious, but again, to make things easy, I have spelt it out, delicious. Delicious. And delicious obviously means really good, really great, but for us, this is the bottom of the level we're going to start, and we're going to climb up with other words. I'm going to give you a sentence for that. We could obviously say, the cheesecake was delicious, or that is really delicious cheesecake. As an adjective, that is where it's going to go in the sentence. A step up from delicious, and I like this word a lot. It's a new word for some, phenomenal. Phenomenal is a great word because it doesn't only have to do with food. Anything can be phenomenal. So this is a great adjective you can use for lots of things. Again, to make it easy to say, I have spelled it out, phenomenal. And it is very, 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 very great. That is phenomenal. So we could say the chocolate ice cream was phenomenal. And like I said, it's for anything else. You could say that movie was phenomenal. Really, really great. Moving up the next level, a nice fun word, we have decadent. Again, I have spelled it out, decadent. Decadent is a food that is probably bad for you, but you love eating it. It tastes really good. So you have to, it tastes really good, so you just have to eat it. An example of this is chocolate or ice cream or anything that is really, really bad for you, but you love eating it. An example in a sentence is, the chocolate dessert was so decadent, so phenomenal, delicious. Great ways to describe food, and much better than just good or really good. A step up from decadent, sumptuous. Again, a very nice word. Other things can also be sumptuous. I've spelt it out again. Sumptuous. This is food that is expensive. It looks very expensive. It looks very, very good, fills you up. That is sumptuous food. And another way to think of it is a step above decadent, even more decadent, even more bad for you, but tastes so good. Sumptuous. A very fun word. The final adjective we're going to look at for food is traditional. Now, traditional is completely separate from our delicious to sumptuous levels. Traditional is the food of a culture or the food that you grew up with. Again, I've spelt it out. And this can be a really great conversation topic. You can ask someone, what is the traditional food of your culture? What is the traditional food you grew up with? That is traditional. You have a traditional food. Others have a traditional food. It is a great way to get a conversation going about food. The best example I can give about traditional food is how we all know that traditionally sushi is associated with Japan. That is one of its traditional foods. So those are a lot of fun adjectives that you can use to describe food. Again, I'm going to check in the chat, see if there's any questions. I see someone has talked about couscous. That is definitely a traditional food. Country food, yes, that is traditional. I have a question here. Tutor Daryl, what are condiments? Condiments. That's a very good question. Condiments are foods to add flavor to other foods. For example, a common condiment is tomato sauce that is put with chips or French fries. So it's a food that goes with another food. Another common condiment is mustard. Mustard often goes with a meat dish like beef. So it adds an extra layer of flavor and taste to a food you already have. That is a condiment. That was a great question. Thank you very much. Next, I want to go over the different types of tastes that we have in food. Again, these are like adjectives, but they are not to describe if the food is good or really good. This actually describes the taste of the food. And again, we're going to go up from food that has little taste to food that has a lot of taste. So we start with a very interesting word, bland. Bland is food that has almost no taste. It is at the bottom. It's not good, it's not bad, because some people like bland food, some people can't handle the top level. So if you need to tell a restaurant, an English restaurant, or you're in a foreign country speaking with the foreign person, I like bland food because I don't like it too spicy. This is a great word, bland. A step up from bland, mild. Mild is the middle. Very little taste. It's not going to make your head explode. It's not going to be no taste. It's in the middle. That's what some people like. So again, if you're asking for food, getting a recipe, speaking about food, if you like mild, that's what you say. And obviously, the top of the ladder, hot or spicy. So food that will burn in your mouth. Chilies, paprika, anything, cayenne pepper, all of those are hot and spicy. Personally, I like hot and spicy, not on my cheesecake, but this is my favorite kind of food. We're going to carry on with the same thing, types of tastes, but from a different perspective on how full it makes you feel. Again, we're going to start at the bottom and climb up different layers. Some food can be called light. So this means it tastes good, but it doesn't make you feel very, very full. A great example is a salad. A salad is very light. Tastes good, but you don't feel full at the end. You can carry on, run a marathon if you want to. So that is light at the bottom. A step up from light in the middle is earthy. Earthy is a great way to describe food. There's lots of taste, but it's not hot. Earthy flavors are things like cumin, turmeric, coriander. These are earthy flavors. They feel full, but they're not hot and spicy. Earthy. And the final one we have is rich. Rich can be a descriptive word for food when it's food that you can only eat a small amount of. An example would be a very, very decadent, phenomenal chocolate. One spoonful and you feel full. You can't have any more. That is rich food. Another example of something rich is pâté, which is a traditional French food. It is also rich. One spoonful and you're done. So those are, again, our layers of how to describe different tastes of food. I'm again going to take a look at the chat and see what we have. Any questions? Let me scroll through and see if any questions have come through. I see people don't like bland food. I can understand that. And we have another question here on what are herbs. Now, herbs are different to spices. Spices are things like we said, cumin, coriander, even cayenne pepper are spices. They are powders that you can rub in your hand. Herbs are leafy vegetables that add flavor. An example would be cilantro, which is sometimes called coriander, or basil, or parsley. These are herbs. They are leafy vegetables that add flavor. Different to spices, which is a ground up powder that adds flavor. Very good question. Now, to make things a little fun, I've brought some stuff from my kitchen to show you the words for some of these things. The first one I have here is a grater. So whenever you need to make macaroni and cheese, which is my favorite food, by the way, we would use a grater, different sides, and I'm not going to say the old pun that the grater is great. Another one that we have, and I love this word because it's such a fun word, is spatula. A spatula, obviously, is used to mix in a bowl, to take batter out of a bowl, used a lot in cooking, and it's a fun word, spatula. I've had a question here. Someone wants us to explain mild again. I will do that after all our kitchen tools. Another word that I love, it's a fun word, is whisk. Whisk. Now, this actually is a hand whisk, but you also get a whisk that you can do this in a bowl with. And obviously, the whisk is to combine ingredients together, add a lot of air into them to whisk things together. And the final tool that I have here, because again, it's a fun word, is a colander. A colander. And the colander is obviously used to, you put pasta in here, the water comes out. You can put rinsed salad in here. But the important thing is the word colander. And now, as the one question came through, I will explain mild again. So mild is the bottom, is the middle of our levels of taste. It's not no taste, and it's not a spicy, hot taste. It's something in the middle. So you like a little bit of flavor, but you don't want too much. That would be mild, right in the middle. And I think the final thing we're going to do today is some fun cookery terms, words that you can use and ways that you can talk to people about food. So some of them we've discussed already. How to talk about food. Ooh, I see a question here. Can you tell me what yummy means? It's a very good question. Before we get onto the conversations, I will make this our final question for the day. Yummy is a great word. It would be an adjective. It would go with our delicious and our phenomenal and our sumptuous and our decadent. Yummy would be right up there with delicious, just before phenomenal. Yummy means it tastes really good. You want to eat more of it. So that's where yummy falls in our levels. It's an adjective. So in a sentence, I could say, the food is yummy. That was yummy food. And it's really a fun word. So there we go, yummy. Thank you for that question. On to our conversation topics. A first great way to get people talking about food, as we said, is ask. What is the traditional food in your country or in your, when you grew up? What was the traditional food you ate? This is a great question. You can share cultures, you can share recipes, you can tell people what your culture does and why. It's a great conversation starter. Another one, and actually a very common saying, is can we exchange recipes? What does exchange mean? I give you a recipe, you give me a recipe, I learn about yours, you learn about mine. It's a great way, again, to find out what people cook, what you cook, and a great way to talk about food and recipes. Obviously, an easy one is, what is your favorite food and why? This is the question I always like, the why. I will tell you that my favorite food, as I said, is macaroni and cheese. My best recipe is cheesecake, but my favorite food is macaroni and cheese. Why? Because I have a lot of happy memories of being in nursery school, kindergarten, and eating macaroni and cheese during recess, break time. And for that reason, it's my favorite food. So that alone, that why, can get a lot of information from that person, get the conversation going, and it's a great way to find out about people's lives. The final way that you can get people talking about food is, what do you like to snack on? Snack is another fun sounding word. A snack is a small food that we eat just for fun. A great example, and my favorite snack food, is popcorn. Popcorn can be sweet, popcorn can be salty, you can do anything you want. Some people like chocolate, some people like crisps. It's a great way to find out what people snack on. When do they snack? Are they watching movies? Are they reading books? It's another great conversation starter. So I think that is where we're gonna end our lesson for today. Ooh, I see one more question here. Well, I see potato chips, which is a great snack. And I see someone is asking, what is phenomenal? So again, I will say phenomenal is a step up from delicious. It is an adjective to describe food that tastes really, really good. And it can also describe anything else that is really, really good. A movie can be phenomenal. A picnic can be phenomenal. Anything that is really, really good is phenomenal. But I think that's where we're going to stop for today. Again, I want to thank you all for joining us for our first live streaming lesson. I want to thank especially our existing Cambly subscribers and students. To those of you that don't know what Cambly is, I will quickly tell you, it is a great online app and web application where you can connect one-on-one with native English tutors like me. We are available 24 hours a day. You can choose us based on what you need. If it's exam preparation, if it is conversation practice, if you want to learn new words, whatever you need, you can find a tutor all the time at the push of a button. And as I said, I have a special promo code for today. So if you go over to Cambly right now, and there is a link in the description, I think, and use our promo code LIVE, you will get up to 45% on multi-month plans. So go straight away, get going, and start learning English the way you want to as soon as you can. If you want to connect with me on Cambly, there is also a link on the description, and we can do more words, exam preparation, conversation practice, whatever you need. And again, I want to say thank you to all of you. It's been great to see so many comments and questions coming in. So until we see you again on Cambly or in another lesson. Oh, and before I forget, if you have any other comments on what you'd like to see in other live streams or in other Cambly lessons, please leave them in the comment section or leave them on the live chat, and we'll take them into account. So until we see you in a classroom or in another lesson, we'll say bye for now. Thank you.